There's a caption. Oh, yay. Okay, it's doing the thing. Sweet. So I'm here with this charming person here.
Hello.
I don't know which episode this is. I think it's either 15 or 16, but I always lose count in between. So I've basically stopped trying to say at the beginning which episode it is because I'm always wrong. I've been wrong several a time.
Maybe that's like the fun intro though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Kimmy always says a different number.
Episode number, mystery number.
You're gonna have then some YouTube fans that are gonna be like, where is this number? Like, we've missed it. Like, I can't find it anywhere.
We have a lost episode that only lives on Facebook because it got taken down by YouTube for having copyrighted music from Hopcat.
We talked about doing something like that as a prank my senior year in high school, where it was going to be, we got 3 rats, and, like, we tied little numbers on them.
Right.
1, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And, like, let them loose. And then once they caught them, like, okay, we've caught 1, we've got 3, we've got 4.
Where's 2?
Where's 2? And they were going to always think there was a 2 somewhere they couldn't find.
Oh.
We didn't do it, though.
No. What was your senior prank?
Multiple people did multiple ones.
Oh. Did you partake in any of them?
I think I just pranked my teacher. Like, I told him something, and then... No, I didn't do anything really cool.
Well, our first question with 12 thoughts is always, who are you?
Hi, my name is Mike Nichols. I am friends with Kimmy.
Stop it.
Connection error.
I know. I think someone to log on to Steam for
probably because we're in the middle of, like, the woods.
Yeah. That was going to be the second question was, where are we?
We are in the beautiful Palmer Park, which is right by my house. This is, like, the woods that I grew up in. I used to play in these woods and go running in them and just have all sorts of kind of adventures. This is one of my favorite places in the world.
I saw 3 toads.
Yes, indeed. Actually, we might see more animals while we're here because of the time of day it is. Like, it's very likely we could see some
There's
deer.
an animal. It's a guy that's running. He's wearing an orange shirt.
See a lot of those kind of animals during the day here. A lot of orange shirt-wearing animals.
And
but we could actually see some deer. Like, they do like to come up through there, or like to go through there. So if you see some,
you will probably see them first because I'm not wearing my prescription glasses.
Oh, okay.
Everything is kind of a blur.
I'll point them out.
Cool.
I'll also be pointing out squirrels, rabbits, definitely snakes.
Any wildlife that we see and or get attacked by.
Yeah, we could, like, have fun people watching, too, while we're doing it. Like, wow, what's this couple up to? Sneaking away to the woods here in the middle of a workday afternoon.
Tricky. It is a workday. No, it's not. It's a Saturday.
No, it's Friday.
It is?
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is Friday. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's Friday.
What's wrong with me?
Friday, August 11.
Friday, August 11.
2017.
The next question is, did anything nice happen to you today?
Yeah, I get to hang out with you. There's not much that's been done today. I just woke up, I came and picked you up, brought you back, breakfast, and then took a shower.
I think it's the first time I've had a pickle spear with my breakfast.
Well, pickle spears are actually really good for you because pickles help your stomach and they help your digestion. Yep. And yeah, you were saying you have a little bit of a stomach thing, and I was like, oh, I got you, girl.
I ate too much hot sauce last night.
Pickles.
So the pickle was helpful.
Nichols and his pickles.
Nichols and his pickles.
Never heard that before.
So your first 4 questions all of your questions are coming from our mega episode last time where we had 3 people interviewed all at the same time. Each of them have submitted 4 questions for this, and I will be asking them in the order they were received. So your first 4 questions are from the incomparable Stephen Douglas Wright.
Okay.
And your first question is, why aren't you doing what you wanted to do as a child?
Well, because I think once I discovered that dinosaurs were dead and I was never going to find one, I had to have more realistic options.
You wanted to find live dinosaurs?
Oh, totally. I wanted to, like, be a dinosaur, like, a doctor or a dinosaur, like, just breeder or zookeeper or some kind. I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I think most kids have that stage. I feel like the dinosaur stage.
I feel like there's like a few archetypical childhood phases. There's like, you have a dinosaur phase.
Stevie did the thing about the horse phase.
You have the horse phase.
The horse phase is so funny. That was amazing.
When did Stevie do something about a horse phase? Because
Stevie wrote a sketch about it.
She wrote the horse phase sketch? That was something we talked about at yoga camp.
So Stevie and I met up at Founders probably, oh man, it must have been like a month ago now. I worked on a thing I was writing, and Stevie was like working on that sketch, and I read it for her, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, she let me read it.
Has it been done yet? Do you know?
I think Late Night GR is doing it in their next show.
I have to see it because.
Ooh.
Oh.
We got some thunder.
So we might need to.
We might need to move.
We might need to move, like.
Oh.
So
that's awesome.
There's like a shelter somewhere around here, right?
Yeah, we could just go sit over there.
Okay.
If you want.
Yeah, let's.
You want to just move right now?
Let's
or
do that just so we don't get the computer wet.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't need these now.
Nope. So we've relocated to underneath a picnic shelter, and we were talking about childhood interest archetypes, like the horse phase, the dinosaur phase.
Yeah.
A lot of girls go through like a ballet phase.
I think a lot of kids also maybe like they go through a lot of sports phases too. Like, oh, I want to be a professional basketball or football or baseball player or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at what age did you finally like have Santa Claus die and figure out that dinosaurs were no longer alive?
It's interesting that you mentioned Santa Claus because I was a kid who actually was not taught that Santa Claus was real.
Same.
I was a kid who, I think because my dad felt very lied to as a kid about Santa Claus. Like, he grew up with this, like, Santa's real, and then when he found out, he was like, he wasn't just crushed that there wasn't a Santa. No. He felt like a lot of trust issues with his parents. Like, they, like, lied to me. Like, they kept this up. Like, dad would put on a costume and stuff, and, like, so they were like, we're not going to tell our kids there's a Santa. We're just going to be like, Santa's a great fun story, and it's fun to dress up and go meet him and stuff like that, but he's not real.
Right.
So there was never like a Santa Claus moment. But the dinosaur thing did kind of happen like probably when I was between, my dinosaur phase was probably between like 7 and 9 probably. Okay. 7 and 9. Sounds about right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I had a lot of interests as a kid. Like, I wanted to be an archaeologist, which is like the dinosaur
related to dinosaurs.
I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be.
So you can fly to where the dinosaur bones are.
Yeah. No, I liked flying. Like, I got to fly when I was younger as a kid, which I think a lot of kids don't get to like have a fly. Yeah. Usually, it's not until like you're high school you get a chance to fly somewhere. But I got to, and I was like, I love this. Yeah. This is amazing. So I wanted to be a pilot. And I learned you need a lot of math, and I was terrible at math. I still am.
You know what you don't need a lot of math for? Being a flight attendant. That was like when I flew and I was like, I want a career where I get to be in an airplane a lot. I was like, I could totally be a flight attendant.
You could.
I probably still could be a flight attendant.
I know one person that did it, and I think they liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'd have to shut down my Hopin social life, but like... It might be fun to just get to, like, blorp all over the world in a plane. I do love that earlier she was trying to catch a couple toads. She was like, oh, I love toads. It is so great. And you just used the word hopping. Yeah. To describe your social life. You had a little toad is now leaking over into your life. When you're holding a little toad in your hand, your social life is definitely hopping. Does a person start, like, once they identify with an animal, do they start using more animal terminology? Like, for example, I've noticed that different people use different ways to describe their group of friends. Sure. And it tends to be similar to which animal's their favorite. Like, oh, these are my group of friends. This is my pride. Like, okay. And they're like into lions, or someone's like, this is my pack. Okay. And like they like maybe more animals that are into packs, like wolves. Or dogs. I haven't heard someone ever say pod. Like a whale. This is my pod. No, that should be me. I'm going to actually start doing that and talking about my friends and my pod. Because, these people are just showing up to the park. Some new animals coming. One seems to be a grandmother with a grandchild. The animals have arrived in a strange type of metallic contraption with rubber wheels and the word Honda on the back. I wonder how long they get to be here before it starts raining. Okay. Question number 2. Wait, what was it? What about you? Is that okay if I ask all these questions back to you? You're welcome if that's the way you want to play it. Well, this is I told you this was going to happen. I'm like, I'm going to ask more questions than I give answers to. That's just how I've learned how to be. Why I'm not doing what I wanted to do as a child. What happened? You know, the funny thing is I kind of am doing exactly what I wanted to do as a child. Boom, Steven. I know. Right. The funny thing is, so, like, when I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to be a writer.
Oh, okay.
But specifically, like, before I like tried to take a crack at writing fiction and poetry, we used to do these like Friday night picnics every single night, or Friday night in the summertime, in this one park that had like this little concrete bowl, like a little amphitheater. And me and my friends would go down there, and I would get real bossy and be like, we're going to do a play. And so I like wanted to be a playwright. And
wow. Okay.
I like stopped thinking about that at all probably when I was about 12 or 13.
So the desire kind of stayed, even though maybe...
Yeah, it was just like, I decided like I was going to try to write a novel. So I was like trying to write this sci-fi novel, and then I like took several passes at it for the next like 5 years. I worked on this thing. And then I read Ender's Game when I was 18. I was like, fuck, I just wrote Ender's Game.
You realize, like, all the art I'm doing is actually just copying the art I already like?
I had never read it before.
But I think all kids
wrote it
are
without
afraid
having
to do that.
read it before.
But I think a lot of kids do that. Like, they create something that's like, oh, this would be the greatest idea. And it's because it's already been done.
It's somewhere out there in the culture. So
I kind of had that too, though, because I always loved to tell stories as a kid. I loved to read as a kid. I loved to, like, I would make these little, like, mock books for my grandma where I just like, take a bunch of, like, white paper and staple them together. And I wrote my grandma, like, a bunch of books. But I did it of all my favorite things. So, like, I made one that was just all about dinosaurs. And I made one that was about, like Davy Crockett. Or...
Do you still have these?
They're somewhere, yeah.
They're somewhere?
They're somewhere in the house. We could probably find them if we go back.
See, that's where the show and tell aspect comes in.
Oh, the show and tell, yeah.
But you wouldn't have known to bring
actually,
those
they're buried just under this tree here. Yonder.
Get the shovel.
Oh, actually, a fun fact, though. See that tree right there? The huge one? My sister got married under that tree.
That's sweet.
Because the wedding was in Indiana and stuff. That's where her husband's family is. But because it would just been a pain to sign everything in Indiana when they're going to live in Michigan. So my dad and our family, we just walked out here and,
did the thing out
bunch
here.
Of regular clothes, no dress or anything, just like kind of did it there, gave each other a hug, and that was that.
That's neat. I'm gonna like do this a second there, just to preserve battery. It just debrightened the screen a tiny bit. Okay, so yeah, I'm doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and I'm kind of a writer, sort of too.
I'm kind of a writer, sort of too.
I was.
You are. You just have to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I texted someone earlier today. I'm a writer.
Question number 2. Pretending that tomorrow you wake up in a world where you've just been elected, what does your foreign and domestic policy look like?
Well, given how the last election went,
this is not too far outside the realm of possibility.
I love that we both we're gonna say the exact same. Outside the realm of possibility.
Morning.
Yeah. Oh man. That's so broad. Like,
just like a general overview.
Yeah.
What is the goal of your administration? Like, what's the big thing for the Mike Nichols administration?
Oh, okay. I would say, boy, that's so tough. I would be a terrible politician and president, first of all. Let me just start with that.
What would make you so terrible?
Oh, I'm way too, like, emotional.
You go mad with power?
I think power would make me go mad. I don't think I would go mad.
That's what going mad with power means.
Well,
so you get the power and then you go mad with it.
I think what I meant by the difference, like, one, like, you go mad with power is when, like, you suddenly just become this tyrannical, like, ha ha ha, now I'll destroy them and I'll kill them and I'll make you ha 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 ha.
The way that I interpret that phrase is that you get power and it makes you go crazy.
But I was going to flip that, though. Like, there's someone who goes mad with power, like that, and someone whose power makes them go mad. Like, I can't do this. I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm terrible. Like,
you would fall into the second
be me.
Category?
I would just
You'd cry in a corner?
I would be crying in a corner. I would just be, like, emotionally wrecked to pieces by, like, even like during campaigns. It's like, oh, like they pay someone to make a false accusation about me, and I would just be like, how
They're
could
so
someone,
mean!
why would they say that? Like, that is just awful to say about someone, like, you know, or like,
Right.
they're trying to take pictures of me and my family, like, how dare they? Like, you know, I would just not do well with being in the public eye at all. But like in terms of policies for our country, I do think that there's a lot we don't know about our military as the public. Like, I know we put a ton of money into our military, and I honestly have no idea where it's going. Like, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but there's something. Like, we're not just like building a bunch of, we're doing something with that military money. I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling it's more than just like, oh, we need to buy a new plane. Like, we've got some crazy cool technology that no one knows about. That's what I think. I think the thing that really bothers me is like I think of the NSA overreach in terms of like kind of the government's surveillance. That really bothers me. I would want to dismantle a lot of that. But at the same time, I do understand why if you're an authority and you want to stop a bad guy, bam, that's the best way to do it too. Like, it's kind of like that. Sorry, not to be way too nerdy. But the whole idea of the Dark Knight movie where Batman like is trying to catch the Joker and he just uses it for that one time to stop him, but it's like, well, what if you could use that to stop every villain in the Batman movie? Then you'd have no villains and it'd be great. You know, but at the same time, but then, well, whose hands do you trust at the lever of a machine like that? I don't even know that I would trust my own hands with that. So I would want to dismantle a lot of NSA surveillance overreach stuff.
Okay.
That's definitely one thing I would want to do. I would bring Edward Snowden back. I would.
No, the sun's up.
Yeah, perfect. I like it. It's nice. I would release Chelsea Manning if that's not already been done. Has it been done? Is Chelsea out now?
Yeah.
I thought I heard Chelsea was out now.
Y'all on a first name basis?
Yeah.
So you love your whistleblowers, is what I'm getting.
I like people that aren't afraid to do what's right, even in the face of, like breaking the law. Like, sometimes
you love your Robin Hoods.
I was gonna say I love my Robin Hoods. Like, I think sometimes when the law, like, because the perfect place to almost hide evil is within goodness. It's like put on this hypocritically good face and use like the mask of like, oh well, we have to do this for your own safety. You care about safety, don't you? It's like, I care about safety. But I don't trust I don't think what you're doing is really about safety. I think what you're doing is like just to basically spy on us for your own personal agendas, to understand how to manipulate and, you know, do whatever you want. So if someone's like, well, the only way to stop that is to just expose it, like, I can understand why someone like Snowden felt like he had to do what he had to do. Sorry, this got like way super like preachy and political. But you know what? You asked this question. This is what happens.
This is what happens.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't maybe some things he did that I wouldn't have done differently, or even, like, we don't know everything he did. Like, he could have given some things to the Russians that maybe he shouldn't have, but guys also got to stay alive too. So, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely, I think a thing for me would I would want to dismantle a lot of what I think is surveillance stuff. Although I would admit that's the future. Like, hacking wars are probably the future wars we're going to be fighting now.
Kind of feel like you should read Transmetropolitan and a bunch of William Gibson.
Did you know that they actually tried to assassinate Dick Cheney by hacking his pacemaker?
I did not know this.
Yeah, that hacker was actually inside Dick Cheney's pacemaker when they caught it, and they had to, like, take him in. I was like, what's wrong? It's like, your pacemaker's hacked. They're trying to kill you with a heart attack and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I do think that the digital wars are going to be the future wars we fight, because it's so, you know, it's scarier because there are no borders, there are no territories, there's no like armies with uniforms
and
that
like
you have to fight. It's
your
just,
average person is so shitty at cybersecurity. I know all my passwords pretty much suck. Yeah,
most wars are now a form of guerrilla warfare, which makes them a lot harder to fight, especially when that guerrilla warfare is digital.
Yep.
So it's challenging.
Question number 3 is which is more true? Life imitating art or art imitating life?
Life imitating art or art imitating life?
Mm-hmm.
I would say art imitating life.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's not that people can't create original stuff, but I would say generally speaking, the art comes out of an experience you had, or like something that happened historically or in your own experience, like life. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Question number 4. What kind of furniture would you be and why? I'd be a footstool.
No. I was like, I'd be a beanbag.
A beanbag?
Yeah, I'd be a beanbag. I love beanbags though.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You gotta have like the right kind of beanbag, not like the weird like plasticky neon blue one that's like, you know, your butt can't even fit on. Which in my case is most of them. But no, when my good friend Chad and I had a house up in Comstock Park, and Chad bought like a beanbag that was like bigger than 2 of these picnic tables put together. Like, it's amazing.
Ridiculously high-end beanbag.
Yeah, but it's like it was our favorite piece of furniture in the house, because like you could sleep in it and you could just curl up in it, and I used to sit there on Sundays and just like read books in it and stuff, and it was amazing. Yeah, beanbag is probably what I would
be. A beanbag. It's a good answer.
What would you be, Kimmy?
Furniture. I'd be a bookshelf.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I think I would be either a bookshelf or like an end table that is specifically placed there to hold a bunch of knickknacks and like clutter.
God, that's a good. Now I'm thinking about all the different answers you could make. Someone's like, I would be a round table because of like the symbol of justice and equality. Bookshelves are really.
I would be a lazy boy.
Okay, so one of my favorite memes that I've seen last year was.
Yes, please, let's talk about memes.
It was hi Brooke Bruce, but it was like Beauty and the Beast, and it's like he just turns back into a human, and it's like, oh, Beast, Belle, and then all of a sudden just gunshot just blows him away, and Belle's like, what? She turned around, and there's like this one angry looking servant. She's like, what? Who are you? Why would you do that? He was like, I was the toilet. It's like, oh, you feel bad for any of the Beauty and the Beast like servants that got turned into the different furniture. It's like, oh, what about the servant that got turned into the toilet?
Yeah.
That would stink. No pun intended.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh, that would be the worst. Or like if you were turned into the toilet paper, you'd be used up. Unless you're the roll.
I don't think that counts as furniture.
Yeah, I guess not.
That's more like home goods.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really got turned into a home good.
Well, Chip's a teacup.
That's...
The plates and like the forks are all alive.
The plates and the forks, but there's nothing that... No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say nothing that is expendable, but there's Lumiere. You can use up a candle. How did he not just get burned up?
That is a great question.
Maybe that's the secret there, is Lumiere never like burns out and dies.
Or
so maybe the toilet paper servant is just this endless roll of toilet paper.
Or do they just keep...
What hell would that be?
Or wait a minute, is Lumiere's face on the actual wax? Or
It's
is
on
it
the actual
candle?
wax.
Oh man.
His head is the candle.
So Lumiere could burn out if he's lit long enough.
But he doesn't. He's at a constant height throughout the whole movie, and it's been this way for like years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. What a terrible spell.
Yeah.
And on like some poor kid who just like he was like what? Like how old was he?
Chip?
No, the Beast when he was a prince. Like
it's
obviously
just
he was a bad person,
he's
but he
a
was like
snot-head kid.
Yeah, but he was like 10 or something, right? Like if you think about how old he would be, like because he's his 21st year, right?
Yeah.
So for how many years is he a Beast? So it would have been like, oh, you like a 13-year-old wouldn't let a stranger in at night and like.
Like, Mom and Dad told me not to.
Yeah.
They said not to let you in. They said not to talk to strangers.
Also, like, the whole castle's got, like, all the servants.
Yeah, like we're going to just punish everyone else by proxy. Because, that is a spiteful person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do they deal with that in the new one with Emma Watson?
I don't know.
Do they address these ethical issues that Beauty and the Beast raises?
Your next 4 questions are from Reject Cheese of Fictional Friends.
Mm-hmm.
The question number 5 is, what intrigues you most about people?
I like this question. Man, that's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to narrow down to one thing. I think what intrigues me the most about people is their stories.
Yeah, that makes complete total sense.
Like the story of how they, as a person, like have developed and grown, and how they've overcome things, or things have overcome them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what intrigues me the most about a person is their story.
That's a good answer.
Because that's usually all that's left. Like, I mean, if you think about it, most people don't have statues made of them. They don't, like, leave...
If they have a statue made of them, it's to remind us of their story, though, right?
Yeah,
exactly. It's not just, like, this person was here at a point. Mm-hmm. It's like this person gets a statue because they have a story.
Yeah, and the story...
It kind of does all come back to the stories, right? Yeah.
It all comes back to, like, the story of a human life.
Mm-hmm. That's a good answer. Question number 6. Have you ever considered running away, and why or why not?
I think in some ways Austin was kind of trying to run away. Just trying to, like, get away from just complacency and the feeling of just, like, being... like not being able to go anywhere.
Do you think it worked? Did you get over your complacency in Austin? Or did the complacency follow you because everywhere you go, damn, there you are?
Damn, Kimmy. No, actually, the real answer, did I ever try to run away, like as a kid and stuff, is no. I've never tried to run away. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of surprising.
That feels
Most
like
kids...
a dodge of the question that was just asked of you. Because you did admit you kind of ran away at one point.
That you know me this well, that you can like just look at when I'm like doing my little...
I'm a very good interviewer in some ways.
Yes, you are.
I can, yeah.
In some ways, like the act itself pushed other things into effect.
Okay.
Like the act of like trying to move to Austin did push other things like into effect that eventually like led me to now the fact that I'm going back to school and stuff, and I think that's a really good step that I should have probably taken years ago, but now it's just the right moment and the right time, and everything is just kind of like all the doors closed except that one, so I kind of feel guided a little bit into it. But that never... Do
you feel guided or do you feel pushed?
Guided.
Okay. There's there's a nuance there.
And sometimes like I think they feel the same because what's up?
Oh, I just wanted to see how much better I have. We're totally good.
Cool. I think there's a plug over there.
No, we're totally good.
Yeah. But no, I can understand why it feels being pushed, because you're just like, you've only kind of given someone one option, so it just feels like they don't have any other choices.
But if you feel guided, that's good.
Yeah, you can choose it. Yeah, I think you can like look at it. You can choose to have a different perspective on it. You can say like it's almost the same thing. These things aren't options. This is. Do you feel guided or do you feel pushed?
Well, and
I hopefully choose to think of it as guided.
You're the only person who gets to give your life certain kinds of meaning, and so you, to a certain extent, get to decide whether to interpret that as guide or push.
What do you mean that you're the only, like, only you can give your life certain types of meaning?
I mean, no one can point at something in your life that means nothing to you and say, this means something. This is what this means. You, at that point, get to make a decision about whether or not they are correct about that. But they can't force that on you. They can't force anything in your life to have meaning. They can't force a book to be significant to you, or an experience to be significant or enjoyable. It's all inside of you, and that there is a certain level of choice that goes into what makes something meaningful to you. And a lot of it has to do with your belief system, and if you're a person who tends to see a push or guidance, and if you're a person who tends to, I don't know, make meaning out of coincidences. Some people are just like, whatever, that doesn't mean anything. To another person, they'd be like, wow, this is a sign, this is important, but it's just each individual person gets to choose that a little bit.
I think I'm a person that sees both.
Yeah?
Like, I think that sometimes why did something happen? I don't know, because it just happened. Like, it wasn't a major thing. Other things like, wow, like the coincidences were just so perfect, like, and this amazing thing came out of it. Right. That was like probably meant to be, or something like that. I think I see both.
But like, you get to sort those things out.
True.
They don't just kind of like happen and have meaning in a vacuum.
Have you ever wondered, like, where you just do something that's a little bit clumsy, like like one time, like you walk in and you drop your
you get a peek into an alternate universe where your phone just like exploded, or you fell down the stairs and broke your neck, or
not to that extreme, but like you dropped your keys,
and
you're like, oh, drop my keys, and then you have to pick them up. Like I've known some people who they drop their keys, like myself, and I just get right up. I've known other people that they drop their keys and like they stop to pick them up, and a second later a like truck out of control spins around the corner, and had they like not, they would have been walking right, they would have died. And it's like, and every time I drop my keys now, I kind of think like, what's the meaning of that? And I'm way overanalyzing it. You dropped your keys because you're an idiot, Mike. You just hold on to them better next time.
My friend Jeff.
But there's other times where I'm like, what does dropping keys mean? I think we can overanalyze, and I tend to do that too.
My friend Jeff was once riding his bike at like 6 o'clock in the morning in I think in Boston, and there was a street sweeper truck that was like bearing down on him that he did not notice until, but he was listening to a cassette tape of Holy Diver by Dio, and Dio yelled, "Look out!" And he did, and he saw the street sweeper truck and like swerved.
Whoa.
So he's like, Dio saved my life that day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I think that would have meaning.
Yeah.
You know?
It certainly does to Jeff, but like, you know, to someone else it might just have been like, well, but I was, you know, whatever.
So there was actually a story I have a little bit similar to that, where I was walking through a really crowded area of downtown Grand Rapids, and it's definitely not as dramatic as that was, but I was just listening to a song, like, and it had just the right beats, like, and it was during Art Prize, and a big group of people just like walked like right across the area I was walking, and like, and because of like the way the music was with the steps, I literally like had the exact right steps to dance right through them. Like I was like.
You're like in your own personal music video.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Whoa! I just danced through them because of the music. That music was so perfectly timed for that.
That's amazing.
I love little cool moments like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like your friend's moment is way cooler though. That's like that person's life was oddly enough saved by a song. Music can save people's lives, guys. There you go.
The next question is: are laws necessary for the world, or are we just adhering to a system?
Yeah, I would say laws are necessary.
Okay. Fair enough. The next question is, what's your shoe size?
11.
Okay.
Although I can fit snugly into a 10.5, but 11 is my shoe size. Wait, I want to go back to that last question, though.
Well,
because,
okay, sure.
I mean, the fact that we're, like, I think there's not just, like, laws. It depends on maybe how, Brie asked that, right? Maybe it depends on how she's using the term laws. Because if you think about, like, what is a law? Or what is like an ordered rule?
The law of physics.
Yeah, exactly. Like we all are adhering to rules that or systems or whatever that you know we are surviving through and in, but also at the same time, like you know, I just think once people are people need some kind of structure in order to survive. Like it's like if you just leave people without any kind of system, like it is going to be chaos. Like human nature is just too unpredictable sometimes. So yeah, I don't think laws are.
You are not an anarchist.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not an anarchist.
All right.
Doesn't mean I trust power, but I don't think anarchy is the right.
Do you trust the social contract?
What do you mean?
Like not a person in power came up with a list of rules that we must follow, but that. The idea that like humans can kind of collectively decide what is and isn't appropriate for behavior. Like a social contract, an example of that would be we have a social contract that says you don't run up and like fart in someone's face at random. That's just something that we've decided as a culture that's just not a thing you do. But there's no law in place saying you don't fart in someone's face. Where there's laws. I don't know. That was the first thing that my mind went to as something that's not on the books, but that we just generally.
I just don't disagree that that's wrong. I love doing that to people. I've done it many times, and
I think you're lying to me right now.
I love doing it to just walking up and excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I'm a very mature person. I don't know why I still laugh at fart jokes, but sometimes fart jokes just like crack me up.
Because it's like something that everybody does, and it's a little awkward for everybody. So it's also a little funny for everybody. I think that if you can't laugh at a good fart joke, you've maybe got a stick up your ass and you need to pull it out and fart. Like maybe you got some stuff building up.
Yeah, definitely. It's those stick-assed people.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I think the social contract is something that is very. History's been very messy with that.
Sure.
I mean, the social contract made slavery okay. The social contract made the Holocaust okay. The social contract made, treating women as second-class human beings okay for a long, long time. And in some places of the world, it's still, unfortunately, the case. So I would say the social contract works, but I think you need a deeper...
you need to put some stuff on the books?
Yeah, there needs to be something beyond just like, well, if everyone in the room agrees on something, that makes it morally okay. Because that's like kind of how mobs work. So, no, I do think that there needs to be a higher order to, and like I think a richer value for human life and dignity than just like, well, we've all kind of just agreed on this, so,
right.
I
hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think we need laws. But laws are not justice. You know who said that?
No.
Oh.
Are you going to tell me?
Nope.
Cool.
I'm going to want you to look it up.
Will do. All right.
Actually, the quote is law is not justice, is the actual quote.
The last 4 questions come from Declan Maher, who is a poet who lives in Holland, Michigan.
Why did your voice just change?
Because I like to say the word...
From Declan Maher, who is a poet who lives...
Because I love the word poet an awful lot. I just like to say it, but you've got to say it a little fancy, right? They're not just a poet. They're a poet. They're a poet.
Okay.
Yes. So, question number...
I think this is
9.
9.
Question number 9 from Declan is, a person who you care deeply about and spend lots of time with has just revealed that they have a family history of spontaneous combustion within a blast radius of 5 meters. How do you respond?
I would just ask them more questions about it. I'm like, really? Tell me about that. Like, how did your family find out about this? Like,
I assume a bunch of them exploded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't know that's how they found out. That you're assuming. You're not asking questions.
No, I suppose. Like, is this a diagnosed condition that you've never actually spontaneously combusted? No, because from the context of the question, we know what the blast radius is. We know there is a family history of it, so we can assume from that information that at least 2 of them have exploded.
No. What we know is that the person is telling us this.
That's
we don't even
true.
know they're telling us the truth. Like, instinctively, and my brain said it the second you ended the question. It was, are you serious? Like, at first I would want to know, is this person actually telling me the truth? Like, and maybe I'm just like a little bit cynical, but I would, because it seems very implausible that would be the case. So I would like probably start looking around for like a camera to see if I'm being pranked, or like see if other people are like watching. Like,
Ashton Kutcher pops out.
He's telling him right now. He's telling Nichols right now. I would probably like kind of like check around to make sure like settings were not out of order, and I would probably ask them more like questions about the nature of this, and yeah, I would become very cynical if someone told me that. I would ask questions that would be very examining and very like, oh really? Like, how did this happen? Like, can you prove? I would want to know proof. I'd want to be proved to it.
Want them to just like explode right there, or show you articles about their family exploding in the past, or?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
like
want them to
went to
explode on me.
genealogy.com and they're like, here's 5 of my ancestors who have spontaneously combusted. Say they verify it for you.
Okay. Once they've verified it, then I would probably want to ask questions about their own safety. Like, okay, do you think you're going to combust right now? Do you feel safe? Like,
what seems to have triggered these events in the past?
Did something trigger them? Like,
should I not smoke around you?
Yeah, people asking obnoxious questions triggers them. Like,
that guy should not do a 12 Thoughts interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just totally start like asking questions.
Okay. Cool. Question number 10.
Good job.
Human skin is abolished. All people may choose a material to replace their now obsolete flesh. What material do you choose to replace your skin? There's a note here that says reverting back to traditional skin is not an option.
Reverting back to traditional skin?
You cannot have skin. You have to have something else as skin. What do you pick?
I mean, if we're having the fantasy that this stuff won't kill you, because if you
I don't think it'll kill you.
if you put iron would kill you. If you were plated in iron, you would die.
Right.
Boy, something other than human skin. I kind of. Boy, I'm doing two things. I'm one part of my brain is trying to think, it's searching what would be aesthetically pleasing, something like fur would be.
Like bunny fur.
Yeah, like bunny fur.
That was one of the first places my mind went was bunny fur, lizard skin.
The second place I was going was what would be actually amazingly
useful.
Yeah, it was some kind of helium atoms, so you could maybe make yourself float or something like that.
Okay.
But the combustion would would not go well.
That's where the family history of spontaneous combustion came from. Is that my family decided to go with helium?
We're made of helium. That explains why your voice is so high too. Let's see.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah. I have been the voice of the Chipmunks for all 3 movies. Boy, that's a cool question. I like this question. I would probably go with something that would allow us to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe feathers or helium or some kind of oxygen type. Something that could make us fly.
Okay.
That's what I would go with.
All right. Well, and this isn't us. This is you personally. So there's going to be people walking around with feathers and bunny fur. And Now, so here's my spin-off question.
Something that would make me fly.
Something that would make you fly is what you would pick. Let's say you get to join a dating site in this post-skin dystopia. What do you put as your skin preference for your future lovers?
Oh, everything sounds so no matter what I say, it's gonna be oh, he's into bestiality.
It is a little bit of a leading question.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you want to date somebody with spandex skin, or bunny fur, or tree bark?
That would.
I don't know what you like.
Tree bark? That would. Dating an ant. I would probably go with fur.
Fur.
It'd be the softest, the most easiest.
Any specific pleasingly soft fur?
No, tiger stripes would be kind of cool.
Tiger stripes are cool.
You're dating Hobbes from Calvin and Hobbes. It'd be kind of fun.
There you go.
Plus, tigers are pretty soft.
This is my girlfriend,
right?
Hobbes.
Tigers are pretty soft, aren't
This is my boyfriend, Helium Man. I don't know. I've never petted a tiger.
I'm built like someone who would be named Helium Man. I'm built like Helium Man.
I've never actually petted a tiger, so I do not know how soft they are.
I bet they're soft.
We should ask Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah.
Too soon? Too soon. All right.
Meow.
Question number 11. You walk into an Arby's to get something to eat.
I like how the questions before this are does human society need laws? And what do you regret not following through with as a child? And then next question starts, you walk into an Arby's.
Well, okay, so Declan is the first person who has done 2 interviews.
And Declan's the poet too. Declan's
okay. He's just that kid's got a brain. He's got a brain. You walk into an Arby's to get something to eat, and while standing in line, you recognize that everyone in the restaurant, except the employees, is an exact copy of you, just wearing different outfits, but still minding their own business as usual.
Yeah.
Another glance around the restaurant reveals that all the exits have disappeared and all the windows have become mirrors. A millipede crawls out of your pocket and into the cash register to lay eggs. What do you order?
Oh, I mean, obviously curly fries. I don't know. What an insane question. You always order curly fries.
What's your sauce to dip the curly fries into?
Oh, I'm pretty much just a ketchup guy.
I highly recommend the next time you go to Arby's and you get your curly fries, get some Bronco berry sauce.
Oh, hey, butterfly.
Hey, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a big one, too.
Yeah.
Hmm? Maybe it'll come back. I hope it comes back.
I hope it comes back, too.
It would like to land on us. That'd be so...
Bronco berry sauce.
That'd be like a Bernie Sanders bird moment.
It would.
Like a butterfly just landed on us. Mm-hmm. Or if any kind of animal, even if an animal just like mauled us during this, it'd be like so cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I hope bear just like
I get mauled,
like
right?
flayed in front of the like you just watch like an arm
like
be just dragged away.
Timothy Treadwell moment. We've gotten into some dark animal humor in the last couple minutes.
I know. All right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely just stick with curly fries. Like,
yeah.
See what happens. That'd be frightening.
Yeah.
That'd be really frightening. That's a good question.
Very Lynchian.
Good question, Declan.
Question number last, the parrot. Question number 12. Describe the last time an animal made you smile. I feel like we just witnessed that happening just now.
Yeah.
When you saw a butterfly blorping around.
Yeah, I would say the butterfly. Or probably like the animals I interact with the most would be Chad and Mallory's dogs. So I mentioned him earlier, my good friend Chad McElsey. Him and his wife Mallory have these two amazing little French bulldogs.
I love bulldogs.
Brock and Beast. They're really cute. And every Sunday we all go over to watch Game of Thrones at their house. And these two dogs are just like, they're insanely funny and really cute. So every time I see them,
are you more of a dog person or more of a cat person?
Oh, dog.
Yeah.
I would say if I was any animal, I am a dog. Like my personality is so dog-like. Me and a couple of coworkers and even some improv friends have joked about that. Like, two of them would be Charlesy, who was my old coworker at the Business Journal, and then Colleen, who was on the improv. She was on Noala with me. They both are very much like we're cat personalities, and they're very good friends of mine. But they both like to tease that I'm the dog and they're the cat, and so yeah.
The thing is, like, I know
I'm very much a dog.
I tend to hang out with people who are very dog-like because I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that are dog people-ish that I hang out with are like very puppy-like, and I feel like you're like an older dog that's just like mellowed out.
Maybe.
That you don't like have the pouncing energy. You just kind of like want to chill and eat some snacks.
Yeah.
And
I'm definitely
go
like
for a nice walk.
I'm a tired dog in some ways. I'm like I'm just over it. I just want to just leave me alone and let me do my thing. Maybe I'm growing into a cat. Maybe I'm like I was a dog and then life and age and just the world is turning me into a cat. Maybe I'm getting wiser with age because cats are like supposed to be smarter, right?
I don't know. I think that there's like a trope.
Colleen and Charles are way smarter than me.
There's a like trope about cats being super smart. Like people talk about how smart cats are. But the behavior that I have witnessed from cats is less intelligent on a human level. Maybe
you mean in interactions with humans?
They've got their own thing going on, but like the dogs that I've hung out with, they like have a sense of humor. Like they can pattern recognize what makes their human laugh, and they're like, oh, I want to keep doing that thing. And so like my dog will like crack jokes. She does the physical comedy really, really well because she's figured out like.
Yeah, your dog's awesome.
She does like a somersault in the elevator thing. I have no idea. I've never seen another dog do a somersault.
Yeah.
But like half the time when we get in the elevator, she will like roll up against the wall and tuck her head and do a somersault, lay on the floor, kick from the wall, and then just like flop her legs because she figured out as a puppy that this made us laugh. And she only does it like enough that it's still really, really funny and not annoying. That's just, oh, God damn it, every time we're in the elevator, there's another dog somersault.
Dogs are definitely a lot more used to do complex tasks. Like in the military, like dogs who can find bombs or dogs who can, be like guard dogs, that kind of thing. There's not a lot of, I mean, they're built physically, but there's not a lot of like bomb sniffing cats.
No. I mean, they have bomb sniffing rats.
Do they?
Yeah.
Not know that.
Yeah, they will train rats to sniff out bombs.
Really?
And dogs. Yeah, what jobs do cats do? Because there's service dogs, there's like bomb dogs and drug dogs, and
there's therapy
there's
cats,
like
like
sled
cats
dogs.
they give to people to like.
Yeah, but that's just like a snuggle beast. That's not
Right.
a cat that's gonna perform tests. When I talk about a service dog, I'm saying like they can tell when you're gonna have a seizure.
Yeah, you have like seeing eye dogs.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
I can't think of any jobs that cats do except like actor and cuddle beast.
I can't either, actually. I actually think one of the most underrated animals for that is horses. Like equine therapy, if you've never, or if anyone listening hasn't ever studied it, is when they use like horses to help people with therapy, not just for emotional or PTSD trauma, but also people that would have like disabilities, like cerebral palsy or any kind of limb type of issues. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Equine therapy is one of the coolest things, and that has a lot to do with how people connect with animals.
Right.
But it's not just in terms of any animals. It's just horses. It's like only horses can do this kind of stuff, and we don't know what it is about the way horses emotionally like process, or what it could be about why these animals are drawn to that energy versus like oh, why don't we use dolphins, or why don't we use
use
cows?
dolphins.
Like dolphins are aggressive swimmers. No, I think horses are amazing. Oh, there's a dog.
It's cute.
Oh, I just smiled. There, that's the last animal that made me smile. That golden retriever over there.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
So
I'm so interested in equine therapy. I think it's fascinating. What are you? Okay, if you have, sorry, actually, I should save this for my question that I asked the next person, because I have to do the questions next, right?
Yes, you do have to do the.
Do I have to do them right now, or can I just give them to you?
You can give them to me.
I can give them to you.
You can give them to me.
I want to think of good ones.
Yeah.
Like if I just had to do them right now off the top of my head, they would not be as good as if you.
Few
gave me
days
like 5
from
minutes.
like within the next few days would be good.
Okay.
What you get to do right now is you get to send a message to the next person who is going to answer your questions. You don't get to know who that person is. I think I know who they are. I don't know if you've met. But
You think you know who they are?
Well, I thought they were going to answer this question set. But then
okay.
last night you were like, I want to do one of these. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's more just like a matter of I have a set of questions and I have someone who can do it right now. That tends to be the determining factor. So
Okay.
I know who has expressed the most interest in doing one, but I don't know.
Do I know them?
I don't know.
Can you tell me?
No.
Can you whisper it in my ear?
No. You don't get to know when you're writing the questions because then you'll write them for that person.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah, you just have to throw the questions out in the void and trust that I'm going to pick somebody good to answer them for you.
Okay.
But what you do get to do is you get to send them a message, which they will probably not see because most people don't make it to the ends of these interviews before they do their own. But you have 3 messages for you at the end of the last one because...
What are the messages to me?
I don't remember.
Oh.
You just have to go...
I have to go back and watch
skip
them.
to the last 5 minutes of the video
Okay.
if you don't want to watch the whole thing, but I think you should because it's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. Mm-hmm.
My message for the next person is go see Dunkirk. It's really, really good. I think you'll like it.
Cool. Well,
I just promoted a Christopher Nolan movie.
good jam.
Also, if you haven't seen... Actually, just watch everything by Christopher Nolan.
What's your favorite Nolan?
Oh, that's so hard to pick.
No, it's not.
Oh, man.
It's Inception.
No.
For me, it's Inception. It's not
That's a really good one.
Not even a contest.
This is so challenging for me.
How did you feel about Interstellar? Because that seems to be like a love it or hate it movie for a lot of people.
I thought Interstellar was a masterpiece that went on a little bit too long.
Okay. I cried in the theater. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I cried several times. I was just a big weeping mess when I saw Interstellar, but
I thought it was brilliant. It was very powerful too, like some of the themes in terms of like the idea of what is home.
Mm-hmm. Tell you what, let's do this. Go through the Nolan movies in chronological order and give them one of your letter grades.
Okay. I would not give any of his movies anything lower than an A. Honestly. Well, no.
You're doing a really bad job of answering this question.
Dark Knight Rises, I would give a B plus, or A minus, or B plus.
Okay.
Okay, so my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. Oh, man.
I know.
This is a challenge between. As much as I love Dunkirk, I wouldn't say like, oh, that's a movie I'll rewatch and I connected with it so much. Oh, this is so. I hate doing this. I hate like picking a favorite child for great stuff, especially when it's art.
What's the one that makes you feel the most things?
It's either got to be Batman Begins or The Dark Knight. Probably but Batman Begins is a really just connectable origin story, and The Dark Knight is obviously like one of probably the best movie or most popular movie he'll ever make. But
what's your favorite non-Batman one?
The Prestige.
Okay, yeah, that one's really, really good.
I think The Prestige is very. I think The Prestige is a very underrated movie. For some reason, it was on TV a lot this summer when I was home, and I just like watched it. Like I watched it and was like, oh, The Prestige, like this. I haven't seen this in like years. I rewatched it like a second time now, and then I was like, wow, like there was so much more to that movie. Just like most Nolan movies, you watch it again and you pick up more things. But then it was on again, and for some reason I just wanted to watch it again. Mm-hmm. And like watching it a third time, I kept even picking up with more things. And I think like some of the themes and the whole just plot of it, it's based on a book his brother Jonathan Nolan wrote, I believe.
No.
Is it not? The Prestige?
No.
Are you sure?
It's based on a book that Jonathan Nolan did not write, and I read the book, and I would not recommend it.
Are you positive?
I am absolutely 100%. It was, yeah, not by Jonathan Nolan.
Okay, then it wasn't, if you say so. Yeah, I've not read the book either. But
don't.
I think like that movie is one of the best movies to like explore the idea of what is entertainment, but also what is the cost of entertainment.
There's a book that
just does it brilliantly.
I will be reading when Declan finishes it, and it's called Society of the Spectacle.
Are you pulling a George R.R. Martin and taking too long?
No, he's just he lent me a different book recently, and I read that one first. But,
okay. Yeah, that happens.
But he has to finish it so we can talk about it. But you should read it too. It's Society of the Spectacle, and it's.
Is this the one you wanted me to read? Like you said,
No.
I want you to borrow this one?
I'm gonna lend you the corrections.
Oh, that's right. The one that was Jonathan
Franzen.
Franzen.
Yeah. Got a lot of Jonathans today.
Because I just got Freedom.
Yeah, so. Freedom's good. It's a really, really good book. It's probably the most enjoyable Franzen book. Okay. But I feel like the corrections, A, it's a better book, and B, I feel like you personally will connect with it more.
Cool. Thank you.
But dude took like 10 years to write it.
Wow.
He would get like almost finished with it, and he would look at it and go, this isn't what it's supposed to be, and he would throw it out and start over.
That takes a lot of guts too.
And so when you read the corrections, one of the things about it that is just incredible is you go through it and you're like, this is a book that took 10 years to write. Everything connects perfectly. Like, it's about a family. There's no real story to it. But it's a picture of a Midwestern family and the parents and their grown children. And the thing that it does so well that I've never seen a book do this well is each one of the kids is a reflection of both of their parents, but in completely different ways. And so the ways that you see the influence of their parents play out in their lives is really fascinating. I've read it 5 times now, I think. Like this year I read it, and I set it down for a day, and I turned to my roommate and I said, I'm going to read you this book out loud. And so I started it up right again, and just every time that I do, I find more and more and more of those little, like, character development connection things. It's incredible. It's a masterpiece.
How did you read it to
Michael?
Yeah. How did Michael like it?
He loved it.
He liked.
Oh yeah.
Did he like hearing it out loud more
yes.
than if you'd read it?
I think so. Partly just because at that point I'd already read it a bunch of times, and so I was able to be like, don't worry, this part does not go on forever, and it is really necessary. But also, when there's something about reading Franzen out loud that brings out the humor. That some of his stuff, like there's parts that are just, they seem kind of like dark and depressing. But then if you read it out loud, you're like, the way this couple is fighting is so funny. Yeah. I don't know what it is about it.
I think sometimes sarcasm is some of the hardest things for me to write. Like subtle sarcasm.
Yeah.
Like obvious sarcasm is a little bit, okay, of course you can pick up on it. But like there's certain moments where like sometimes the sarcasm is so subtle, or it's like meant to be subtle, ironic sarcasm. And that's really hard to like pick up sometimes when you're not just reading it, but when you're trying to write that. Like it's challenging.
There's a moment in the corrections where this kind of shitty guy is like, it describes him getting turned on by seeing his wife crying, and just the way that it's written is so like well done Like, the first time I read it, I was like, I hate this guy so much. And the second time I read it, I was like, I hate this guy so much. Ew. And then the third time I read it, I was like, yup, I've known that guy.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
That's something Game of Thrones does really well, too.
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, you don't watch Game of Thrones.
I don't
right?
watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It makes me feel gross.
Game of Thrones makes you, like, it makes you root for characters as you hate them, and then hate them more, then root for them, then, like, it's...
I'm just trying to, like, generally
it's an
steer
emotionally
clear
abusive
of
show.
television right now because it, like, eats my brain. Like, if I get into a show, I want to do nothing but watch that show until I'm done with it. So I'm trying to, like...
I bet I could give you a show that you would just obsess with.
Yeah, probably, because I obsess very, very easily over shows.
And I bet the right show for you to obsess over would be Shameless.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why?
Because I'm obsessing over Shameless right now, too.
You just want someone to talk to about it.
No, I have people. I know people I can talk to about Shameless. How dare you? No, but just, like, I just think you would really connect with, like...
I've got
the struggles of that show.
I have friends that are really into it. I might give that a shot.
It almost in some ways feels like you're watching like a reality TV, but it's like it's not. It's because you're like, oh, this is just like a really dysfunctional family doing all this like crazy, like hustles and stuff. But it's.
Did you watch Person of Interest?
That was a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Nolan.
No, I watched Westworld. Season 1.
Westworld. I'm pissed at Westworld because it killed Person of Interest. Because Jonathan Nolan like moved on, but this is like a network TV show, so there's nothing that is like on-screen sex and drugs.
I have a very unpopular opinion about Westworld.
What's that?
I think Westworld's a little overrated.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. I watched the whole season and I was like,
it's very well done, very stylized, very good acting, very good cinematography and special effects and everything. But I just like
I felt like it said nothing.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, and I felt like it was just devoid of any sort of like message.
Or it said stuff that we've already heard a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't really offer any new voice to me. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't a well-made show, and I don't. If someone else loves it, great.
Right.
But
Person of Interest. The reason that I would recommend it to you is it is you okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I might have just seen a deer.
Oh.
But
it's a show about surveillance. What's his name? Michael Emerson.
Is Sean Bean in that?
No, it's Jim Caviezel and Michael Emerson.
Okay.
But basically, it's a Batman story. Where they have a bifurcated Batman, and a bifurcated Commissioner Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's Michael Emerson's character has developed a super AI for the U.S. government that can tell when a terrorist attack is going to happen, but it also can tell when like just a random person is going to get murdered. Like there's premeditated crimes that it can predict.
Wow.
And so what they will get, they get a social security number, and they have to figure out if this person is the victim or the perpetrator. And Jim Caviezel is sort of like the muscle that goes and solves the crime and like has to protect the person that is going to possibly get murdered.
Mm.
That's the first season and a half. And then the rest of it becomes this war between two godlike AIs in a total surveillance state. And it's so good. Like season 3 onward is like some of the best TV I've ever seen. And
really?
Oh, it's okay. Really, really good. You just have to get through
Netflix,
yeah, it's all on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's Jonathan Nolan. They do some really cool stuff with the universe, and it has some stuff to say. Unlike Westworld. It just takes a while to get through like the first victim of the week season.
Okay, I know I told the person to go watch Dunkirk, and I know that like we're going on way longer, like especially like I think we've been talking for like an hour.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, we're good. We'll just finish this up and then be done.
I take back what I said about watching Dunkirk. I don't take back I think you'd like Dunkirk. You should watch The Wire. HBO's The Wire is like Game of Thrones might top it because of what it's doing right now, but it's not finished yet, so I can't say it for sure. But The Wire is one of the greatest, it's probably the greatest TV show I've ever seen, but I think it's also one of the best pieces of art, or I don't know if it's fair to call it journalism, but it feels like journalism sometimes. It's one of the best just pieces of art that I saw come out of the 2000s.
Watch The Wire.
Watch The Wire.
Thanks for sticking with us if
Yeah,
you did
thank
through
you.
our
Sorry.
media discussion moment. No, that was fun. Thank you for being interviewed.
Thank you
Wish
so much
this
for
guy
having
luck
me.
as he goes back to school.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all.